In military planning, commanders sometimes calculate how many troops they can afford to lose to secure an objective. During the 1904 Russo-Japanese War, General Nogi calculated a specific number. He believed 10,000 lives would be a cheap price to pay for success. His target was Port Arthur, a heavily defended, highly strategic fortification located right on the Chinese coast. Reducing 10,000 human lives to a simple line item on a ledger detaches a commander from the brutal reality of the battlefield. To take the city, Nogi planned a brute force approach, massive human wave attacks designed to overwhelm the fortress through sheer numbers. His fellow generals saw the extreme danger of a frontal assault on such a powerful fort, and they strongly suggested postponing the attack. Nogi refused to tolerate dissent. He angrily overruled his peers and forced the plan forward. His confidence relied on dangerously weak reconnaissance. Japanese intelligence claimed that the fortress's exterior walls were merely houses fitted with fragile glass windows. When unquestioned authority meets fatally flawed intelligence, a vacuum forms at the top of the chain of command, leaving no safety net for the soldiers on the ground. On August 19, 1904, General Nogi launched his grand assault, sending thousands of troops directly into the teeth of the fortress. The offensive began with massive artillery preparations, intending to weaken the target before the infantry advanced. Then the Japanese troops charged forward. They fought with intense patriotic fervor, fully eager to make sacrifices for their nation. But the moment those soldiers reached the perimeter, the fatal faults in Nogi's preparations were violently exposed. Courage on the ground cannot compensate for a commander operating completely blind in the strategy tent. The reported houses with glass windows did not exist. The soldiers, expecting to shatter fragile glass, collided instead with impenetrable walls of steel and concrete. The result was devastating. 16,000 Japanese casualties spiked in rapid succession as the defenders repelled the attack. The advance stalled completely, forcing the surviving infantry to dig deep into the earth just to survive the crossfire. Nogi held on to an insane idea that a modernized fortress could be easily taken by a simple infantry charge, turning a standard military maneuver into a localized massacre. Port Arthur eventually fell to the Japanese, but the cost hollowed out the victory. Nogi initially estimated 10,000 lives would buy him the city. By the end of the siege, 60,000 Japanese soldiers had fallen, 6 times his original calculation. Sustaining this prolonged and bloody campaign required a colossal logistical effort, burning through endless rows of heavy artillery shells. The sheer volume of wounded pushed the army's medical and survival infrastructure to its absolute breaking point. A death toll of 60,000 invalidates the initial strategy, exposing a profound failure in military leadership. Yet the way this siege is remembered stands in sharp contrast to how it was actually commanded. The extraordinary patriotic fervor of the Japanese troops and their absolute willingness to die in continuous human waves became the dominant historical narrative of Port Arthur. This conceptual scale illustrates the final tragedy. The immense bravery of the soldiers drops down heavily, completely lifting and shielding General Nogi's gross incompetence from immediate historical scrutiny. When a military victory is finally achieved, how often does the extreme bravery of the soldiers rewrite for history of the commander's mistakes?